What is a vintage, and why is a vintage important? The simple answer, a vintage is the year when grapes that are used to make wine are grown and picked. And what happens during that year, as the wine growers nurture the grapes and the weather runs its course, determines what type of vintage it will be. If you hear the expression, "that was a great vintage," it means the humans and Mother Nature got it just right, but that's not always the case. With countless variables at play, every vintage has the potential to be a ride on a roller coaster. The 2019 vintage in Oregon got off to a normal start when the vines came out of hibernation in spring. That's when the wine growers started paying attention, very close attention, to every development in the vineyard.
I'm actually counting buds right now, and we're looking
You're
at
counting
double buds. Yeah,
You're counting buds.
in the
Okay.
vineyard to kind of get an idea of what kind of growing season it's going to be.
Sure.
And from now until harvest, we're going to be working with each and every one of these vines to try to bring the best out of them. Not necessarily the most, but the best.
As summer progressed, the weather was intermittent. There were no periods of extreme heat, as in recent years. Instead, there was considerable overcast. Oregonians trying to get a tan were disappointed. The local wine industry was not.
Luckily, the Pinot Noir is loving it. They're loving the 40-degree diurnal shift that we're still experiencing, meaning that it is getting nice and cool in the evening. We are seeing a little bit more of an average harvest time period. We are expecting our fruit to come in around the second week of September.
During that second week in September, just as harvest began, a dose of drama. Heavy rains hit the valley. Suddenly, there was a risk of mold and disease, forcing some critical decisions. Pick too early, and the grapes would not fully develop flavor and complexity. Pick too late, and the grapes could be waterlogged, maybe ruined. But this is Oregon after all. There's going to be rain, there's going to be wind. What do Oregon winemakers do with it? They deal with it. Fortunately, the rain stopped. The remainder of September was cool but sunny. Those winemakers who chose to wait out the weather were rewarded.
I think this particular vintage is going to be, I'm very excited about it because we've had these ideal growing conditions during the year, relatively aside from the rains. We had some rains, but we had a mild growing season. And I think those temperate growing seasons, more typical of Oregon, I guess you'd say, it really allows the fruit to gain a lot of complexity and retain natural acidity that really, I think, gives you the elegance and sophistication that Oregon Pinots are known for.
In Oregon, Washington, California, and beyond, the 2019 harvest is over. The grapes have been transformed into juice. The juice is in the barrel or the tank. In 2 years, give or take, the 19s will be on the shelf, and we'll all get the chance to see and taste how the 2019 vintage came together. This is Pat the Wine Guy. See you next time.